So now we are now in our crown chakra, and where our aim is to get to the quantum field. So we're still in the third dimension, and we're on the seventh octave, which is the crown chakra. So now we're going to expand our awareness outward and up to the eighth octave. And then we're expanding out even further and up to the ninth. And you'll feel yourself, it's kind of like you're going upward now to the 10th octave. And you get a little bit lighter as you do this. Now the 11th octave and the 12th octave. So we're at the top of the third dimension. So now we have to go through the fourth dimension. Well, the fourth dimension is really easy because it's kind of like a river of energy that flows around the earth. So when souls want to travel to go someplace, they just go to the fourth and they're instantaneously in some other place. So it's very easy to travel from one soul group to the next, or one, like if you're a remote viewer, you just go up to the fourth dimension and you just travel to wherever you're going to go, and then you're there. So to get through the fourth, we're just going to count to 12. And as we go, we just kind of expand our awareness upward and out. It's kind of like climbing a ladder. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we're up to the beginning of the fifth dimension. So the fifth dimension is probably the busiest dimension of them all. It's because our soul groups are located, and there's layers. The 12 octaves of the fifth dimension are packed with all kinds of different soul groups. So the first two octaves, you're going to feel a little bit of resistance. So you want to expand out and up 1, out and up 2. And we count, because once you master this technique, you can go to whatever octave you want. You can summon souls to you or angels, and they'll go and find your relatives or whoever you want to talk to. So it's a very handy way of keeping your bearings. You're not just wandering around in different layers of energy. So we're on the third octave. We go up to the fourth, expanding up to the fifth, up to the sixth, up to the seventh, up to the eighth, up to the ninth, up to the 10th, and 11th, and 12th. So now if you were going to do some energy work and you wanted to communicate with a relative, you would have stopped somewhere along the line and asked for contact with them. We're not doing that tonight. We're simply learning how to go through the octaves and get to the quantum field. So now we're in the sixth dimension. And the sixth dimension is basically where the ascended masters are, a lot of the angels, and we're souls that want to reincarnate. They kind of hang out in the lower octaves of the sixth dimension, waiting for bodies to open up for them. So like if you want to communicate with Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha, or even Einstein's up here, that's where you go. You go to the sixth dimension. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to go up. So let's go to the first octave and expand up to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th, 11, and 12. So now we're at the beginning of the 7th dimension. The quantum field is really basically everything above the 7th dimension. Now, what I mean by quantum field is the source, or you want to say God. I don't use the word God, I use source, prime creator. There's all kinds of words you can use. The aliens use she or all mother. There's all kinds of terms you can use for this vast energy field of creative consciousness that has created our universe and many other universes. And this source is what provides the subtle energy for our souls to never die. So when we die, our souls are energized through this subtle energy of the source, so we can live on and on and on. So what a beautiful thing. Now, in order for the source to be able to do anything, it has created a positive and negative polarity field that creates things. That's where all your electromagnetic energy that runs our physical bodies comes from. So the negative polarity that's created, I call the creators, and the positive polarity is the facilitators. And they are, because the positive polarity holds the creation in form. In other words, the negative creates, the positive holds it in form. Now there's what I call observers. So you're thinking, well, how do we know if anything's going to work or not? Or, how does this all operate? It's really, you got to come up with terminology, okay? So I use the word observers would be kind of like the consciousness of the source determining whether something is going to work or not, or going to happen or not. And generally speaking, in this world of physics, in the quantum field, whatever has the most intent is what manifests and lasts. So in other words, you could send out a whole bunch of different possibilities, but the one that's the strongest, most dominant, is the one that usually ends up manifesting. So that's why it's important when we are manifesting and we want something to come to pass, that we reinforce the quantum field. Will kind of like measure it and say, okay, this person continues to, with their intent, ask for a certain thing. Because in order to manifest anything, it starts with desire, and then will, and then intent. In other words, you have to have a desire for something. So the creator says, okay, I desire to create a human being, and I'm willing to allow it to happen, and I will make it happen. I will formulate the atoms together in order to create a being, and I'll create a consciousness for it. So in essence, the creator has given us the ability to create it as well. And I really believe that's what delights the source, is knowing that it has the power to create beings like ourselves who are willing to create other things in its likeness. So if we're creating things in its likeness, then we're complementing the creator. It's just something to think about. So now The idea is, as a human being, the Creator has allowed us to be an expression of itself. So it's kind of like in my book, I have this picture of a fist, then I have fingers opening. What that means is we're an extension of the Creator, and we have the ability to manifest and use the source's power to create and manifest ourselves. Now, we can create good or bad. We have free will. And it doesn't tell us what to do, but if we're working in the higher realms of consciousness, we're going to try to do what's benevolent for mankind. That's our goal. So, keeping that in mind, I'm going to stop this video. Now, one last thing. In order to go back down, all we simply do is count backwards. So I might do that in this video as we're at the 6th level of the 7th dimension. So we're going to go back down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're at the top of the 6th dimension. So we're going 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And you'll feel your awareness slowly going down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to the top of the 5th dimension. And then through the 5th, 5, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So at this point, if you wanted to communicate with someone like your parents or brothers or sisters or somebody, this would be where you would ask the angels to contact them, okay? And this is how I learned how to do a lot of this energy work, was right here, because my mother would come and teach me about these various levels and how energy worked. So once you learn how to do this, I suggest that you come up here and practice and see if you can find someone that can help you learn, okay? Or you can go channel with Jesus, like I did. I spent 3 months with the Bible, just going through verses with Jesus, finding out what he said and what he didn't say. You could do that. There's all kinds of different things that you can do